I create the broadcast. I start the stream. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to Watcher DM. I am continuing my work on A2, Secret of the Slavers Stockade. I look at this now, and I don't think there is a possessive. We'll remove it. No big deal. Apostrophe gone. Apostrophe gone. Last time we were together like this, I got to, I'm pretty sure, the end of the madman's lair. So 16. We get down here. Mildewed, broken tables. Yeah. So 16G. Yeah, 16 through 16G. Off stream, because, I can never put something down. I finished 17, 18, which was kind of a ton. Maybe did I do this on stream? I don't remember. I kind of legit don't actually remember what I did. I do remember doing 19 last night. This one, kind of a lot. So let's go find 20. Hobgoblin's Barracks. Pardon me. I think this is the beginning. Why do you say that there are no correct streams? Left to stream. Refresh. There we go. It says I've got a chat rate. Let's take a look at the chat rate. Gotta get this chat up on my screen here so I can blab at you. See my channel. There needs to be a better way to do this. I have no idea. Okay, no chat rate. That's fine. We Gucci. Kill that. Play. We should be. Alright. So Hobgoblin Barracks. Let's look here. This room is a barracks with wooden beds and straw mats. There is a table with 8 stools around it. On the table are the remains of a meal. Dirty tin plates covered with grease. A few crusts of bread. A pot with some congealed stew. And wooden cups with weak ale in them. There are also several cockroaches on the plates. Ew. Gross. Alright. So, barracks with wooden beds and straw mats. I think it doesn't really tell you how many. Bed is pulled away from the wall. Okay. Between one bed and the wall is a gold ring with a chipped amethyst worth 150 gold pieces. If the bed is pulled away from the wall, it will fall to the floor. Beneath the ticking of another is a bag of 15 walnuts. There's a 1 in 4 chance that any one is spoiled. Stuck in the headboard of a third is a rusty butcher knife. In a locked box beneath the leader's bed are 80 gold pieces and a tarnished silver chalice worth 483 gold pieces. There's a rusty needle in the lock, but it is not poisoned. Okay. Let's look at 20 here and see if it gives us any visual. Okay, so it doesn't show us really anything visually about how many beds there are. So I think the plan then is to honestly just make up a number. We'll just make a number for it. I think how many nerds came out of here? It was like 7 mummies. Attack the party from the front. Yeah, so there's 7. because this is all related to this mirror corridor thing. As the door opens, there's a clanging sound. A pair of tin cups have been hung above the door. Party sees a straight corridor, 110 feet long. So it's really interesting. This whole thing has like a mirror corridor. So it's a corridor with like a 45-degree angle mirror at the end. So it looks like a longer corridor than it is. And the door at the end points into the same room as there is also a mirror on the right wall or west wall. Right. Before the party does anything else, the opposite door opens and 3 mummies step into the room. So we have 3 mummies. As the party moves up the corridor, the mirror on the western wall swings open, and behind them, and 7 hobgoblins attack the party from the rear, while the mummies charge and attack the party from the front. Okay, so 10 hobgoblins. So there are 10 beds. Which actually is probably going to be more like 5 beds. Or are they all straw mats and stuff? Racks with wooden beds and straw mats. Say 5 bunks with straw mats. That should solve it. Table with 8 stools. One of these nerds sits on the floor. On the table, let's make it a new line. On the table, I don't think dirty tin plates makes any sense. Dirty plates. Pot of congealed stew. Wooden cups of weak ale. Cockroaches. Fine. Weight stools. Cool. Yeah, that's, oh my gosh. Come on, Grammarly. Don't be like that, dog. All right. So 5 bunks with straw mats. Now, between one bed and the wall, I think we can just here say like gold ring, gold amethyst ring. Oops. 150 GP. If the bed is pulled away from the wall, it will fall to the floor. Yeah. Okay. I feel like this is one of those moments where, like, if the party says, I spend a turn searching this room, we say, cool, yeah, you move the bed and find this thing, right? Like, beneath the ticking, beneath the mattress, mat. Yeah, I'm not even going to put that in there. I'm going to leave the almonds or walnuts or whatever out. Stuck on the headboard of a third is a rusty butcher knife. Dumb. In a locked box beneath the leader's bed. Okay. Leader's bed is a locked box. And it contains 80 gold pieces and a tarnished silver chalice worth 483 gold pieces. The lock has a rusty needle. No poison. Seems good. All right, I think we're done with 20. Let's do 21. Right, this is 21A. Let's look at what this actually means here. That's 20. This is 21A. And this is 21B. Woof. I feel like I can just I should just redraw these maps. TBH. I don't even think it would take me that long. I say that, and then I'm legit not going to do it. Because it wouldn't take me 0 time. Although I would really love to have this, like, not be shitty. Yeah, we'll see. I've got kind of a lot on my plate right now, so we'll just see. This corridor is unlit, thickly carpeted. Okay. Thick carpet. The hallway is quiet, and shadows seem to muffle any sounds the party makes. Faded blue drapes hug the walls to either side, and the carpet is a cheerless gray. Thick gray carpet. Faded blue tapestries. I guess drapes. As the party proceeds down the corridor, there's suddenly a frightened squeak at their feet, and a rat bolts across the hall and disappears into a hole in the wall. The drapes are attached to the wall at both the ceiling and the floor, and every 20 feet there is a break in them where a torch bracket is mounted on the wall. At the southwest end of the hall, on the east wall, southeast end of the hall, there is a door standing slightly ajar. The corridor ends 20 feet further down the hall with drapes across the end wall. Understand what the F this is talking. Interesting. How are you supposed to get into 22? Door here is slightly ajar. This must be a door? Drapes are attached to the wall at both the ceiling and floor, and every 20 feet there is a break in them where torch brackets mounted in the wall. At the southwest end of this hall. Is that this here? Oh, I see. This curtain goes all the way around here. Man, that's really unclear. Okay, let's put the rat in. And we can deal with the rest in a minute. I guess we should say torch brackets every 20 feet. Rat is here. Scavenging. At the southwest end of this hall, on the east wall. Okay. Southwest end, east wall. Slightly opened door. Corridor ends 20 feet further down the hall with a drape across the end wall. Okay. Ends, I guess, 20 feet past ends with drape. False end. Say that. That should do the thing. Then we look at 21B. Okay, let's find out what's actually going on here. Beyond the drapes at the end of this hall, the corridor continues on, but is no longer carpeted. There is a covered pit in the floor just beyond the drapes. It is as wide as the corridor and 7 feet long. Any pressure on the pit cover will cause it to fall open. The pit beneath is 10 foot deep and lined with rusty spikes. Anyone who falls into the pit will take 1d6 points of damage from the fall and will also be impaled on 3d6 spikes for 1d6 points of damage each. Ow! On the far side of the pit, a nearly invisible wire has been stretched taut across the hallway at chest height. 4 feet. The wire is painted a dull black and is therefore nearly invisible. Characters who are not heavily encumbered and get a running start will easily be able to leap the pit, but any character who is taller than 4 feet will be caught by the wire and pushed back into the pit. A halfling, gnome, and or dwarf will not strike the wire and will be unaware of it unless looking carefully. Okay. So, effed up. Pretty mean. Okay. Just beyond the drapes. The hall continues. Also, I think this needs to be past ends with drapes. Drapes? Is that? Drapes is fine. Just beyond the drapes, the hall continues. Uncarpeted. $7-foot long, 10-foot deep, wide pit filled with rusty spikes. 1d6 damage plus. And how do you do a 3 to 6? How do you do a 3 to 6? It's going to be 1d4 plus 2. Plus impaled on 1d4 plus 2 spikes for 1d6 damage each. And I think, yeah, probably put that just down here. Yeah, I don't need it. Actually, I don't need this. Just do that. And we're fine. 10-foot bottomless. Yeah, it's not. All right, that does that, and then after that, just beyond pit is concealed wire at 4-foot height. Cause medium-sized jumpers to fall back into the pit. I don't think we need to say more about that than that. Seems good to me. Gucci here, what's up? A height of 4 feet. Yeah, fine. That's fine. All right, 22, empty room. The door here is slightly ajar, and as the party approaches, it will swing open a bit. The room beyond is filled with opened barrels, old leather chests, and pieces of boards and twine. There's a small fireplace opposite the door. The barrels and chests are all empty. This room is sometimes used as a storeroom. The fireplace has not been used, but a breeze blowing down it causes the door to swing open and shut. Okay. Close examination of the room will reveal a leather pouch next to the door. In the pouch are a hammer and chisel. The door hinges are marred and the pins slightly battered. Oh. Okay. Empty barrels and chests. I guess we should probably start with the door creaking open and closed. Fireplace opposite door has draft. Empty barrels and chests. Old leather chests, yeah. Pieces of boards and twine. Fine. Yeah, I feel like not much to do here other than say leather pouch hidden near door, and this contains hammer and chisel. I guess here we can say hinges marred, pins slightly battered. Okay. I guess it's 21, 22. Okay. We are on to 23. Door to this room is locked. So we'll say door locked. This room contains shelves filled with trade goods as well as bales and chests of trade goods stacked on the floor. Most of the trade goods are bolts of cloth, iron tools, iron pots, miscellaneous wood utensils, and cheap glass jewelry. The total value of the trade goods is 2,000, but they are too bulky and heavy to be carried except by pack animals or in wagons. Okay. I'm honestly just going to say 2,000 gold pieces worth of trade goods must be carried by animals or wagons. Shelves. Bales and chests. Fine. Do that. I think that's probably fine. For my purposes. What do you reckon the water room is? This room is filled with the smell of wet wood. On the floor in the southern end of the room are 4 large tons stood on end with removable wooden lids. What's a ton? A large beer or wine cask. Cool. That's a ton. Sounds good to me. Stood on end with removable wooden lids. Each ton is fitted with a spigot near the bottom. There is also a stack of 4 wooden buckets with rope handles. On the south side of the room, there is a railing and a set of steps leading downwards to the east. This is the water room. The tons are filled with water, and the bottoms can be seen if a light is held above them. Okay. At the bottom of one is a small leather sack. The spigot to this tun is rusted and cannot be opened. The sack is rotten and will fall apart if someone tries to fish it out. Inside the sack are 20 gold pieces, a gold ring, and a large gem. If these are removed from the water, the ring seems gold and will detect as magical, but is only brass and has Nistel's magic aura on it. The large gem is badly flawed amethyst, worth only 10 gold pieces. Beyond the steps in the southeast corner of the room is an underground passage dug out of earth and reinforced with wooden beams. Beyond the steps in the southeast corner of the room. 24? Okay, so this goes down. And this goes to 24B. Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah, the water room. Got it. Okay. Let's just say wet wood smell. South wall. 4 large tons. Beer or wine barrels. Spigots. Removable lids and spigots. Gas. Southeast corner. Southeast stairs lead down to 24B. All right. Filled with water. One has a sack. Small. I guess it's just a sack in it. $20 gold pieces. Gold ring. Magic. False. Nistel's magic aura. Brass. And a large gem flawed amethyst. Beyond the steps in the southeast corner of the room is an underground passage. Stair leads down to 24. With wood beam. Stairs lead down to wooden beam, reinforced passage to first passage The well. The underground passage continues for 30 feet, then ends in a small circular room. In the center of the room is a circular stone well with a cable drum for drawing up water. Okay. This room contains nothing of value. The well is 30 feet deep. Well is 30 feet deep. I guess it contains... circular well is 30 feet. That's fine. 30 feet deep. Cable drum. Cool. 25. We have made it to the room of slaves. Woof. This one's going to be a chonker. All right. Let's read this one. See if we can get through it. Beyond the door is an eerie sight, a large, long, terraced room. A narrow passage running through the center of the room with raised stone platforms set in a series of 3 large steps to either side and at both ends of the room. That's not confusing at all. On these steps sit dozens of humans staring blankly into space while dark shadows curl above their near naked forms. These creatures are bound to the walls with neck chains, but do not appear to be struggling in the least. They do not seem to notice the party. Scraps of torn clothing are tossed about the room, and there are cloaks and blankets hanging on the wall. Okay, so this room is used by slavers to make newly acquired slaves docile. The guardian here is a rare and exotic creature that typically lives far underground called a cloaker, or Tenebra complexor. Interesting. How the slavers managed to obtain the service of this bizarre creature is unknown, but the beast is believed to be intelligent. The cloaker regularly emits a subsonic moaning. This moaning causes several effects at the pleasure of the monster. The lowest level of moaning, and the one occurring when the party enters, causes nervousness and unease and will eventually numb the minds of those who listen to it for extended periods of time. The slaves have been exposed to the sound long enough to become numbed and will not react to the party in any way. Only a neutralized poison spell will cure the effects of the mind numbing. Otherwise, the slaves will remain mind numb for a week. Woof. Okay. Cloaker is clinging to the west wall among other cloaks and blankets. It looks like a semicircular cape with a long mace-like tail. It has 2 claws at the end of the cape. Upon its back are many round, black, button-like eye spots. When the cloaker conceals its tail and claws, it's hard to distinguish it from a real cloak. The cloaker has no head, but it has a mouth in the middle of its belly and 2 red, glowing eye spots that appear to be eyes. Because the cloaker has so many eye spots, it has no effective rear to attack. Okay, sure. Cloakers attack by flying at their victim and enveloping the characters in folds on a successful to hit roll. An enveloped character cannot fight as his arms are pinned to his sides. The cloaker then attacks any characters trying to rescue their friend with its tail, striking twice each round. Okay. The tail is AC 1 and it can take 16 points of damage before it is cut off. At the same time, it bites its enwrapped victim for D4 points of damage, plus the base AC of the character each round. 1d4 points of damage plus the base AC of the character each round. It does your AC in damage to you? That seems wrong. Attacks with a weapon on a cloaker who has enveloped a character will do 1/2 damage to the cloaker and 1/2 damage to the victim. Fire attacks will do full damage to both the cloaker and its victim. Cloakers use their subsonic moaning power to subdue their opponents before they attack. The cloaker may not bite and moan at the same time. Cloakers can vary the intensity of their moaning and thus alter its effect. The lowest intensity will cause nervousness and to all characters within 80 feet. It causes characters to fight at -2 to hit. The second level of intensity causes fear, as per the fear spell, to all creatures within 30 feet who fail to save versus spell. This effect only lasts for 2 turns. The next level of intensity has an area of effect that is a cone 30 feet long and 20 feet wide at its open end. Okay. Anyone caught within the cone must save versus poison or be helpless due to nausea and retching for 2d5 rounds, or 2 to 5 rounds, similar to a stinking cloud spell. The final intensity can only be used against one person at a time and acts as a hold person spell, and its effect lasts 5 rounds. Stone blocks the effects of the moaning. A cloaker also has the power to manipulate shadows and will throw them across its opponent's faces or surround itself with shadows, thus giving an effective AC of 1. Shadow manipulation is so precise it can even create images out of shadows and often creates doubles of itself, which are treated like a mirror image spell. Man, these cloakers are nuts, dog. This cloaker will allow the party to enter the room and approach within 30 feet. Then it will change its moan to induce fear. Next, it will cause weakness and the hold its victim and attack, throwing shadows across the face of its opponents. If seriously hurt, more than 2/3 of its hit points gone, it will create doubles and flit off into the shadows. Near the west door is a hobgoblin sergeant standing slack-jawed and staring. He was sent to check on the slaves, but had not been warned of the effects of the prolonged exposure to the moaning of the cloaker. Now he has become mind-numbed. He is wearing a cloak of protection +2, which he stole from one of the new slaves, but he is unaware of its abilities. Okay, woof. That's a lot, man. Most of this is going to go in the cloaker stat block that I'm going to end up writing up about this. Long terrace. Raised stone platforms. Set in a series of 3 large steps. To either side at both ends of the room. Okay, that's fine. So this 500%. So the problem with this description is it actually doesn't tell me how many slaves are here. Just gonna look real quick at the map, see if I can get a sense. And 25. 25. That's pretty big. That's like 40 feet, 50 feet, 60 feet across, 30 feet wide. 60 feet across, 30 feet wide. This is also where the slaves are being put together. Let's see if we can find any info in here about these slaves. This is dungeon stuff. Monsters. Tournament characters. Tournament scoring. Interesting. So it doesn't give you any information about. Okay, so we're just gonna have to make this up. That's fine. That's totally fine. Let's get back to Our location, room of slaves. Oops. Yeah, I guess we'll go with like 19 slaves plus 1 hobgoblin are numbed by a cloaker. Cloaker. Okay, cool. It's the Shadow Dark Cloaker that I'm pointing to. That's funny. Cloaker is hiding among cloaks. Yeah. I don't really think this matters. Neck chains. Docile. I guess. Oops. I should probably grab this guy. Put him down here. 1 hobgoblin. Docile. He has a cloak of protection +2. Doesn't know. Doesn't know it's magical. It's fine. I'm gonna deal with all that stuff in. This is the craziest write-up for a room. I know almost nothing about this room. It's just about the monster. Absolutely wild. All right. That's so crazy that they wrote all this here this way. And like, this is, man, brutal. All right. Armorer's Smithy. A large furnace against the south corner is aglow as 2 orcs pump bellows on either side of it. Okay. The smith appears human and presently working on a sword. The room is filled with weapons, many of which are broken, and armorer's tools. The smith is a retired half-orc, 3rd level fighter. He's wearing a long leather apron. The 2 orcs are his assistants. The smith only cares about his work. If the party doesn't bother him or his wife in the next room, he won't bother the party. If he is attacked, he will send the 2 orcs off to room 29 to raise the alarm, while he fights with his back to the furnace, so he cannot be taken from behind. Total value of the weapons and tools in this room is 300 gold pieces if the party can manage to load them onto an animal for resale. The smith has no treasure, but wears a small key on a chain around his neck. This key fits the iron box in his quarters. Okay. Pop this in here. So, large furnace. Says south corner, but like I have, okay, so it's southwest corner. Seems better. Usually I put the direction first. So southwest corner, large furnace. 2 orcs. Orcs. Give me orc. Pump bellows on either side. And half orc smith. Actually, see if we can get half orc. Okay, we don't have half orc. Half-orc smith. I don't even need to know what level fighter he is. I'm just going to call him the armorer when I do all the stat blocks. Works on a sword. Weapons. Many broken. And armorer's tools. These are worth 300 GP if sold at market. Must be carried by animals or cart. Classic. They get a lot of this stuff in this adventure where it's like, oh yeah, you know, you can get hella money here if if you want to go into business. Yeah, I'm not doing that. All right, that's fine. And then I think the half-orc smith. So focused on work only raises alarm if attacked, and he has small key on chain around neck. Iron box in 27. Right. 27. We're getting close. Getting close to the end of the first floor. Which is cool. I'm like, we're not even at a week yet. I still got 3 more days. I'm probably gonna stream this every day until I get it done. So yeah, hopefully that goes well. And then once I'm done with that, I need to do A4 as well, because I want to have this kind of prep ready for A4. This is not lazy DMing. This is very unlazy DMing. So I see you, Mike, telling me, what are you doing, man? But yeah, I think if I want to run this kind of old stuff, this is the prep I need to do, which kind of sucks. Them's the beans. Armorer's quarters. Armorer's quarters. The room contains one large bed and with typical bedroom furniture. There is a loft in the west end of the room with a ladder leading up to it. The room is being cleaned by a stout orc matron. The orc matron is the armorer's wife. She will scream hysterically if she sights the party. Her screams will rouse the armorer and his assistants in room 26 and the guards in room 29, who will rush to her defense. In the room beneath the bed are 2 mangy tortoise-shell cats. Aw, kitties. They are playing with a silver thimble. With a silver thimble of the matron worth 5 gold pieces. In the floor beneath a small bed table is a stone which may be tilted to reveal an iron box beneath. The box is locked, and inside are the plans for a beautiful suit of plate armor. A pouch with 4 agates worth 15 gold pieces each, and a pair of calipers. There are 2 pallets in the loft for the orc assistants, and one has been carving a piece of wood into a model for a new pole arm head. Interesting. All right. So the armorer's quarters, we've got large bed. There's definitely a night table. I'm just going to say there's a dresser, because what else do you have in a bedroom? West End loft. with ladder. Okay. Being cleaned by orc. Matron. She screams, alerting 26 and 29. Actually, I guess this is the room is being cleaned by an orc matron. Symbol under bed. I guess it's a silver symbol under bed. 5 gold pieces. And iron box under night table, loose stone. And this contains, right, iron box, locked under night table, loose stone. Night, okay, yeah, that's fine. Plans for plate mail. Pouch with 4 agates, 15 GP each. Pair of calipers. And then west end loft with ladder. 2 pallets for assistance. I'm not even gonna, I don't think we need that head, weapon head there. That's fine. All right, 28, the storeroom. The room appears to be a storeroom and contains bins half filled with the assortment of supplies. The supplies are typical equipment for a garrison: spare leather straps, rivets, nails, bolts of cheap cloth, iron rations, and so forth. The equipment, which is too bulky to carry, is worth 250 gold pieces. The room contains nothing else of value. Okay, so 250 GP worth of common equipment. What do you even call like screws and bolts and nuts and straps of leather and crap? Bolts of cheap cloth. Oh, rations. I think I'm just going to say common equipment. That'll be. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think we'll just say we'll leave it at that. If they're like, I want to take it all, it's like it's too heavy. But you can search through it if you want some common crap. The room appears to be a storehouse. Does it appear to be a storehouse, or is it a storehouse? The room is a storehouse, or a storeroom, as denoted by the title. Orc barracks. Here we go. This is the thing. Double bunk beds with 8 orcs currently asleep in them. Okay, cool. 8. Oh, I guess this is 4 double bunk beds. 8 orcs sleeping, I think. 4 of the orcs are supposed to be patrolling the halls, but they got bored and went back to sleep. They'll be surprised that I 1 through 5. The orcs will snatch up their swords to defend themselves. If an alarm is raised, they will take 1 round to don their armor before answering the alarm. These orcs work for Estelrath, the slave merchant, and do not care for the hobgoblins running this fort. Interesting. So they tend to be lax in their duty. They will rush to the aid of the armorer or his wife, because one of the armorer's assistants is a half-brother to the sergeant. These orcs have a total of 3 gold pieces, 7 silver pieces, and 31 copper pieces. Okay, I think that's all we need to put in here. 3 GP, 7 SP, 31 CP. I'm not even gonna, I guess I'll say surprise 5 out of 6. Should be good enough. All right, 30. Orc officers' quarters. This room appears to be the quarters for orcs. Quarters for orcs. Appears to be. There's an orc snoring from where he lies sprawled across a bed. Sitting behind a table, glassy-eyed, is another orc. On the table in front of him is a cask with a spigot in it and 2 filled mugs. The floor of the room is littered with 3 wine bottles. The 2 half-orcs here are the sergeant and the commander for the orcs in room 29. They have recently completed a drinking bout, and the sergeant won. He is blurry and incoherent, and will speak to the party in orcish. He will feel that something is vaguely wrong, but can't put his finger on it. The sergeant has a pair of brass bracers worth 10 gold pieces and 14 gold pieces in a pouch stuffed in his right boot. The commander has a gold ring worth 25 gold pieces, an ivory-handled dagger worth 30 gold pieces, and 18 gold pieces in a bag beneath him. In a pouch on the side of the bed is a roll of paper marked with incoherent lines. This is a map of the slave route, but will be of little use without the interpretation of the commander. Okay. So bed and table. Orc on bed. Snoring. Orc behind table. Drunk. And then I think this is like the sergeant and the commander. So I think this is the sergeant has one. Okay, so this is the commander. And this is the sergeant. Sitting behind a table, glassy-eyed, is another orc. On the table in front of him is a cask with a spigot and 2 mugs. Okay. Yeah, I'm not even going to write that. I think we can just figure it out from this. The sergeant has a pair of brass bracers, 10 gold pieces, and 14 GP in boot. The commander has a gold ring. That's 25 gold pieces. Ivory handled dagger, 30 gold pieces. And 18 gold pieces in bag. What does it even say? It says a bag beneath him. Say beneath him. In a pouch on the side of the bed. In a pouch bedside. Is roll of paper. Map of slave route. Poorly drawn. Poorly. All That's fine. That's all fine. All right, cool. We got to 30. Geez. Where do we start today? We started on, I think it was like 20. We got from the Hobgoblin Barracks all the way to 30 Orc Officer Quarters in about an hour. That's pretty darn good. I'm not going to lie. I'm about that. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it there. I've only got 9 more areas to do left, and 10-ish areas left to do in this. Although, actually, crap, is there? No, there's like 2 there, and then this is just that picture. Cool. And then we can move on to the dungeon. So I'll probably do an hour tomorrow, which will wrap me up for this section. And then Friday. Sorry, that's tomorrow. Friday is tomorrow. I know how time works. Saturday, I'll try and get in and do an hour and get to like 10 in the dungeon. And we'll just try and do 10 a day. Because I think the dungeon... Okay, no. So, this is where shit gets tricky. Specialists' quarters and the slave pens. This is the one right here. Because this is just a ton of stuff. 28 has... What's V? So, V, W, X, Y, Z. So, it's letter 22. So, it has 22 different sections in the slave pens. So, that one's going to take like 2 whole days. So if we do these 10 here, and then I gotta look at the torture chamber. Thank God. Okay. So we go 10 here, and that's 1 day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 2 days. So that's Saturday, Sunday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's Monday. And then I have a week from Monday to get this done. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. It's Tuesday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 10. That's Wednesday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's Thursday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. That's Friday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. If I do this for an hour every day, I should be able to finish this by Saturday next week. If I do that, this whole adventure will be prepped and ready to run for the next, like, I think this is probably going to take like 5 or 6 sessions. So I'm looking at like 2.5, 3 months of play. And I think that's a really good place to be, because then I can start working on A4, which I haven't even started looking at. So I would also really like to redraw these maps, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. Have yourself a wonderful day. Arrivederci.